Sat Sri Akal ji. We are all bound by entertainment. Whether we like entertainers, we don't like entertainers, whether it's the Punjabi film industry, Hollywood, Bollywood, entertainment and entertainers are part and parcel of our lives. But the entertainment, the way it is delivered, the way it is consumed, has undergone drastic transformation. And this is what we are going to discuss with a highly respected film critic and reviewer, rather a reviewer of the entertainment industry in general, Bobby Singh from Delhi. Sat Sri Akal, Bobby Singh ji, how are you?
Thank you for having me here.
So I have been reading your posts about event cinema, and I have been reading your posts about the overall transformation in the entertainment industry. Something that would be great to share with our larger audiences. What transformation do you see that has taken place in the entertainment industry? Let's start with Punjabi cinema over the past few years.
देखो जो चेंज होया ना वो मेनली होया है कोविड तो बाद.
अच्छा.
You can cinema going population अगर तुसी को cinema watching population, so you can divide the era between before COVID and after COVID.
Pre-COVID and post-COVID.
And there are drastic changes in the viewership pre and post-COVID. And the major reason for that was that before the COVID arrived and was brought in a great transformation personally, physically, everywhere. Cinema was considered as a theater thing.
As a
theater. As a theater, you have to go to cinema.
Footfalls were the key component of cinematic experience. You mean to say that?
Cinema was the big screen. In other words, cinema was the big screen entertainment. The screen was gradually taking its viewership post 2015. YouTube started gaining the momentum after 2014-15 in India particularly, all over the world also. And after 16-17, YouTube was starting getting a huge viewership from the audiences. Because the other reason for that was the data pack in India became cheaper after this period.
Okay.
Before that, it was costly to watch things on your mobile phones. Data pack was limited. So if you used to watch mobile videos on mobile phones, so it used to get off quickly. Data khatam ho jata si loka da, and then they have to pay again for that.
But why we are talking specifically about India, because India is the world's most populous country and the biggest consumers of entertainment, the domestically produced entertainment at least, which includes the Punjabi cinema.
Also, we are talking about India because after this period, two big giants entered the Indian market.
They were
Netflix and Amazon Prime. Netflix was not there in India before 2015-16. It's around 16-17. The same year, Amazon Prime also arrived in India. So what was happening is people were going to theaters. सारे picture theaters से देखने जाते सी, tickets भी लेंदे सी. Footfall was great. Not great as earlier, but still it was great. And when COVID came, and when these platforms came first in 2017-18, and धीरे-धीरे इन्होंने बड़ी हौली-हौली इन्होंने अपनी viewership बनानी शुरू की थी. Subscription costlier. इंडिया विच की प्रॉब्लम है, इंडिया विच केबल दे पैसे भी लोग हर महीने देन च थोड़ा जा छिकांदे ने. Every month cable 300 to 200 to 300 rupees cable ਦੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜਦ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਹੋ. ਇੰਡੀਆ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਲੋਕ ਰੁਕ ਕੇ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਆ. ਉਹ ਇੰਨਾ expenditure ਲੱਗਦਾ ਹੈ ਹਰ ਮਹੀਨੇ. The subscription was a little difficult for Indian people in the earlier stages. So Netflix and Amazon Prime were struggling to get their subscribers. Meanwhile, they started in 17, 18, 19, and then in 19, end of the 19, COVID was there. The next 2 years, 20, 21, 22, 2 or 3 years, these platforms gained a big part of viewership of audiences because the audiences were not going out for the entertainment.
Because of COVID.
Because of COVID. YouTube also gained a huge kind of gain in this. I'll give you an example. If you recall the period before the COVID, the South films were not seen by the North Indian people. They were not used to see the South films. Bali was there, but still they were not used to see the South films regularly released in South. The moment this platforms came, they started watching these films. Again in Hindi, dub form, but they were quite few. But when COVID came, they had no other option to watch many things. The South cinema gained momentum. The South cinema gained the viewership during this COVID season. And people started watching other things other than the usual Hindi cinema. They started watching Korean cinema also, the Korean series. That got famous in India after 2021, 22. And then I'll give you an example. There is a channel at YouTube. It's called Goldmine channel.
Which channel?
Goldmine.
Goldmine. Okay.
It started in the same era, 2014, 15 and all. And it used to only upload South Indian films dubbed in Hindi. In the COVID season, that channel got so much subscription and so much viewership that they started producing films. And they were only showing the South films dubbed Hindi films. Nothing else. They took the rights of those films and dubbed it in Hindi, and they used to upload it on YouTube.
So that means parallel platforms gain a lot of momentum during COVID, and because of economic reasons, because of accessibility, they got huge traction. Now, that's understandable, and you also have had Netflix and Amazon arriving in and giving alternative means of entertainment or entertainment platforms to the audiences, larger audiences. Now, my question to you is, Bobby Singh, what transformation have you seen because of all these other transformations in the Punjabi cinema?
Punjabi cinema is actually stuck in that same genre. It has yet evolved even after the COVID transformation.
It hasn't.
We are into making the same kind of films, same kind of comedy films. And actually the cinema watching population in Punjab is the same who watches the Hindi cinema also. Punjab territory in distribution language is one of the biggest territory for Hindi films also, not only for Punjabi films. So there are same audiences who are watching Hindi films and Punjabi films together. Now, Punjabi films are not giving them a great kind of variety. Same kind of comedy films are being made repeatedly because they are only running. And there is a reason for those comedy films being watched by the people. The problem is again related to COVID. After COVID, post-COVID, the transformation in cinema viewership was such that people were not willing to watch emotional, heavy dramas. Because they had seen 2 years of quite emotional turmoil all around. So the viewership was not interested in buying a 300, 400 rupees ticket to watch an emotional family drama where people are dying, where people are struggling for living. They wanted to watch something light, to have some fun time, forgetting everything else what they had experienced in the last 2-3 years. Another thing was jobs were not there. People had lost their jobs. People were not having the work. People were not having money. So they were not ready to spend their money on such experimental films, such offbeat films, the dramas, family dramas, some educated films, some thought-provoking films. They were only interested in watching some extravagant kind of films in which they are shown something beyond. They are taken into a different world for 3 hours, forgetting everything else. The same was applied on every kind of cinema, in Punjabi also and in Hindi also. The audiences got transformed in that kind of viewership. They were not interested in watching the earlier thing. That is the reason what I call is that event cinema. This event cinema got evolved after the COVID season. How you will
what is
bring
event cinema?
Event cinema is key. You have to give them entertainment as circus used to provide once upon a time. Because jokers are also there, animals are also there, fights are also there, jokes are also there.
So larger than life. Larger than life.
Emotional, some kind of emotional scenes are also there. A mixture of everything, which will let you forget your pains. And they were supported by the big names. In Hindi cinema in particular, the big names, the Khans, they were supporting these larger than life cinema. And people were only interested in watching those in the theater. So the watching population got divided. What happened was they were interested to go in theaters only for these films, and for the rest of the films, they were ready to watch them on OTT. So they were not concerned about that they will be lagging behind, not watching the new films. They were ready to wait for 2 or 3 weeks that these films will come on.
This event cinema thing, did it also happen in the Punjabi film industry, or it just remained the same, comedy?
For Punjabi cinema industry, event cinema is comedy movies.
Okay.
These kind of movies, Grewal brings on the Carry On Jatta series and all. These are the event kind of films in Punjabi cinema.
So more or less is I mean, we do have some sort of religious films coming in, occasionally, but more or less is comedy.
Yeah, religious films
have these films, like the South Indian films, they invaded the North Indian market, the non, South Indian language market rather. They invaded that market. Did the Punjabi films also make a foray in South through dubbing it or something like that?
No, Punjabi cinema cannot be dubbed into any other language.
Because of flavor.
Flavor, that is the beauty of the language. Because I also said this in the previous episode we did here, that Punjabi comedy cannot be dubbed in another language. The flavor gets lost. The comic flavor gets lost. You will not get the joke in the same way when it's dubbed in Hindi or any other language. And it cannot be said also. It cannot be rendered also in other language in the same way. So Punjabi dubbed is never appreciated anywhere in the world.
But unlike Punjabi films, Punjabi songs, they are all over. How's that?
That is the power of music. For example, you also listen to classical music. Hey, you don't understand classical music, and the common man doesn't understand classical music, the finer parts, but he at some point of time he enjoys it. It brings some kind of peace to him, because that's the power of music. Another example is Ustad Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan was recorded in France, right? By the people who are not known to that language, who do not understand that language. One of the best albums of Ustad Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan was recorded by Peter Gabriel.
Oh.
And he doesn't understand the Punjabi language. That's the power of music. Punjabi music has another power of beat songs, which makes you dance. So that's another thing. But the music and films are different apart. You can love the music without understanding the lyrics.
True.
But you cannot love a film without understanding the dialogues.
Now, Bobby, there's a flip side to what all we discussed so far. And the flip side is the cinema-going population. When we go to cinema, for example, in a country like India or anywhere in the world, we only see typical middle class people who have, who have grown economically better in the past few years or decades, they actually are the main component of the cinema going audiences. But we don't see the lower income groups there. That means a huge population. Forget, platforms like YouTube, which are easily accessible, but a huge population seems to have been ostracized so far as cinema going is concerned. How has that happened? And is there a way out so that there is more of a democratization of cinematic experience?
Not an unknown fact. It's a known fact that this all has happened due to the multiplex culture. Multiplex culture invading India in terms of cinema. The single screens were affordable. Tickets were affordable, the food was affordable. And when the single screen era was there, you used to watch films with all kind of people from all sections of society. I remember around 80, 90, we had whitewash was going. We were having a whitewash in our house. Renovation was going on, and the laborer, the mazdoor, jo log honde na, they were working in our house. So we were going to a film and night show. When we were in the theater, मैं देखा कि मेरे नाल वही बैठा हुआ है बंदा, मेरा घर पेंट कर रहा था. So that was the power of single screen.
ਹੁਣ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗੀ, ਹੁਣ ਨਹੀਂ, ਉਹ ਵਿਚਾਰਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਅਫੋਰਡ ਕਰ ਸਕਦਾ, ਮਤਲਬ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ.
When that section of society hasn't gone to cinema since decades.
I agree. For decades they haven't. Yeah.
ਸਾਲਾਂ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਈ ਸਾਲ ਹੋ ਗਏ ਗਏ ਫਿਲਮਾਂ. ਉਹ 2000 ਦੀ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ, ਅਸੀਂ ਫਿਲਮ ਦੇਖਣ ਗਏ ਸੀ. Latest example ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਣਾ. I overheard some laborers working nearby my house. नई फिल्म एक रिलीज हुई है, पुष्पा 2. That is the film which has invaded again India as a first of its kind of film, earning that much money in Hindi dub form. Telugu film, and it's earning in Hindi what any Hindi film has never earned before. What is happening is, no मजदूर गल कर रहे थे, वो कहते कि मेरा बड़ा दिल है, मैं अपनी वोटी ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਜਾਵਾਂ ਫਿਲਮ, ਪਰ ਮੈਂ ਅਫੋਰਡ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰ ਸਕਦਾ, ਮੈਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਜਾ ਸਕਦਾ. ਪਲੱਸ ਮੈਂ ਜਾਣ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਕੱਪੜੇ ਚਾਹੀਦੇ ਹੋਣ. ਮੈਂ ਉਸ ਥੀਏਟਰ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਪਣੇ ਕੋਈ ਵੀ ਬੈਸਟ ਕੱਪੜੇ ਪਾ ਕੇ ਜਾ ਸਕਦਾ, ਮੈਂ ਇਹੋ ਜਿਹੇ ਕੱਪੜੇ ਪਾ ਕੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਜਾ, ਮੈਨੂੰ ਦੂਜੀ ਨਿਗਾਹ ਨਾਲ ਦੇਖਦੇ ਲੋਕ. So they are not going to those theaters. Single screens are not there. So they have no choice. So
when you have this, this huge chunk of population ostracized, how is the entertainment industry, or rather filmmaking industry in general, is surviving?
That's the power of our population. अगर साडी population ਦਾ 1-2% ਵੀ ਕੋਈ पिक्चर चली जाती है ना, तो वो 100 करोड़ 200 करोड़ कमा लेगी. मतलब इतनी परसेंटेज पॉपुलेशन भी थिएटर जाके पिक्चर नहीं देख रही. There's so much huge potential.
Got it.
150 करोड़ ਦੀ population है. अगर सारे बंदे फिल्म देखने चले जाएं, मतलब तुझे समझ लो 30% भी चले जाएं, how much a film will earn? Average price of 150-200 rupees ticket. So a film is struggling to earn 100 crore in a population of cinema loving population of 150 crore. That's the reason, and that's because 95-96% of that population of cinema loving population is not going to theater. They're watching films on pirated versions, on platforms like Telegram, or are waiting for to be released on OTT. They're not spending money, and it's logical. Anyone earning 50,000 rupees a month cannot spend 2,000 to 3,000 on his cinema outing every week.
2,000 to 3,000 rupees. Yeah.
He cannot spend that. He can do it once upon a time, once in a month, or once or twice in 2 months, or some holidays to take the kids out. But once, when India was known to watch the new films every week, that trend has stopped.
That trend has stopped. Gone are the days of silver jubilees and golden jubilees. They're no longer there.
People are waiting the event films to come that they will spend on that film. Like Pushpa 2 is coming, so the people who are saving their money to watch Pushpa 2. They were not watching the films releasing before 2-3 weeks before Pushpa 2. So they wait because there's a purchasing power, no? They cannot. Purchasing power is limited by, in this section of the society. They cannot spend 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 rupees on any movie every week.
Rather they wait for an event film to come.
Event film, or they will wait that we'll watch it on OTT after 2 to 3 weeks.
Okay. Going forward, and this is my last question to you, Bobby. How do you see we are living in the age of now the artificial intelligence, which is upon us. So how do you see AI playing a role in the entertainment industry?
AI at this moment is quite synthetic in its look and feel. Synthetic means you get to know that this is an AI format. This is an AI created image or AI created video. So till it gets to that stage that we cannot differentiate between an AI image and another, then it's not a great threat for cinema, at least. You can create the backgrounds, you can create the locations,
special effects,
yeah. But the manual part, the heroines, the actors part, that is still not threatened by the AI.
That's not great.
If you look at the games, the game world, the world of virtual game, so they have made such realistic games that you will find that this is this a game, or is this an animation, or is this a film? But that kind of animation has yet not been tried to make a full-length feature film, because that gets caught. That kind of emotion on the face still are not there.
Okay. So Bobby Singh, it was a very interesting conversation that we've had today, and thank you so much for your time. And we'll stay in contact and in touch to discuss more about entertainment industry. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.